So,
it's kind of a reflection of what's been going on today, I feel.
I have no idea what's going on. I just know that everything's out of sync. And
let's get back in sync, okay?
What do you think? Yes. Okay. So the show we had earlier today was rather intense, and which was really nice, and it was great because we ended up being able to do some spiritual investigation. That's the stuff that I love to do the most. You know, a person will come on and they're asking one thing, and then we go down the rabbit hole in another. And it's really cool when all of a sudden everything just lines up and it makes sense to the person that's on the other end. Now it looks like we have a lot of people in the room, so if you do want a reading, that's one of the things we're good at, as well as investigate why would it be projected into your space.
Okay, well, we do have a question right off the bat from the chat room, so that's awesome. Okay, this person says, I've been having really weird dreams the past couple of days, and on Halloween morning, when I had a dream, a friend of mine had a dream in the same location.
Oh, how cool is that? First thing I want to say is stream crossing. One of the things that happen is that we are moving into a vibration that is much higher on this planet, and sometimes stream crossing is when the group consciousness, you cross your streams. As far as projection of why, we have also in this stage where your soul wants you to resolve all the stuff that has been put upon its soul's journey, and it wants to be addressed. So for the dreaming of the same location, yes. I heard it's intentional from the soul. It has to do with relating to the same issue of grief. Doesn't mean you both had experienced the same grief, but there is a signature about the same grief. And it can be about, you know what I'm saying, figuring out the location. You know, interesting that you have a physical location. I also see a location in the physical, meaning the body. So if you wanted to interact more, or if you would like to just let us know, I'd say definitely keep typing away. The essence of the dream. Now, the place, can you kind of explain it, the dream, or the place where it was? Was it creepy? Was it a place where it was unknown? Was it a griefful place? What place is it?
Okay, so this person's going to describe the physical surroundings?
To some degree, yeah. Even if it's just an emotional feeling you feel.
So we still need
as this person does all this typing, we're going to move on a little bit further. When two people or more people come together, it is that the strength. Most of the time people don't do stream crossing as much as they do with, and I mean as far as two humans come together. I'm talking usually it's about a human and a non-fleshy, or it is the ones that are the apparitions that are, they're dead or they're ghost. And usually you when you're in grief, you'll cause that energy to come to you, and you'll be like a magnet. In this case, whatever emotions that you be going through with you can be almost the same as an emotion that's going on inside with a friend.
So it was in Southern Europe in a wedding, and at the wedding, the bride seemed like it was of 3 images to the other person, but 1 image to me. The wedding was traditional from a long time ago. The wedding dress was cream colored instead of just bright white.
So my first impression is this has to do with past life, and it says no. It is the resonance of that particular area. I feel like you are from a higher calling. How do I want to put this? Everybody vibrates at a different rate, okay? There are people that they call, how do you say this nicely? There's different operating systems. Sometimes when you're unable to take the energy in, you end up having, I don't know how to explain it. When a child has autism, their sensory system takes in differently in the information.
Translates it differently.
Translates
your environment gets translated a different way.
And it just means that you have a different operating system than others. and you have a higher vibration, which you pick up more than what other people do. So you're probably going to be more the transmitter, no, not transmitter, the one that's receiving, that is going to be able to pick up and understand a lot more than what other people can. Can you translate and explain it to other people? Well, sometimes not, because they may think you're nuts. Trust me, I know that part. But at the same time, you are connecting with these people. Now, when I say people, is that I can see this happening more than once to you. You, as far as it being a wedding, that has a significance of bridging it together. I would have Jen look it up online, and you end up doing a little bit of a dream story. I don't mean to stumble for my words, it's just that I don't have my other computer in front of me. So I'm just now trying to figure out. A wedding has come together. A wedding, in this case, well, it's bringing two pieces together. That's the one thing. Plays a role in answering your questions. Could be a validation that you're looking for. So it says keep the faith and understand that this is unfolding and leading into something else. Now Jen has pulled up something.
A wedding, to see or attend a wedding in your dream symbolizes a new beginning or transition in your current life. A wedding reflects your issues about commitment and independence. Alternatively, your wedding dream refers to feelings of bitterness, sorrow, or death. Such dreams are often negative and highlight some anxiety or fear. If you dream that the wedding goes wrong or ends in disaster, then it suggests you need to address some negativity immediately. If you are getting married, if you dream you're attending a wedding, consider how you feel at the wedding. If you are upset or sad, then it means you're unhappy about the current status of your life. If you're happy, then you're embracing a new change in your life.
And what's interesting is the commitment. I feel that from the aspect of this is that what commitment is happening in your space. And it's about the dreaming aspect, again, letting everything unfold from beginning to end. And sometimes you can't connect with people correctly. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel that
the person said at the first part I felt like I was awake in a very sunny place and was happy. It was, the dream was so real that when I woke up to the storm during the Hurricane Sandy, I felt like I wanted to come back to the dream. I felt happy after the dream.
oh, that would definitely make more sense. With Hurricane Sandy, this will affect your emotions because you're talking about emotions, water. You want to go to a safe place. You want to go back to where you can be commitment. It's going to work. It's not going to fall apart. And when you look at hurricane, Jen, that would be good. So that can be threatening to your existence of whether or not you can survive. You're going to be picking up a different frequency. You're going to be picking up frequencies that other people's stuff that is in the hurricane. I just feel, again, you are very high frequency. You picking up things. And I feel like you should be wearing an amulet or something that can protect you from...
Because it sounds like you're being an antenna right now, the receiver, and especially during the hurricane when all this stuff is just, it's like this emotional debris is going around in the air that you're going to be more sensitive, so the amulet would definitely...
See, and that would make sense right here, what she's going to read to you.
Okay, so a hurricane in your dream, or will we interpret our life as a waking dream, indicates sudden unexpected changes occurring in your life. You may be experiencing some destructive and powerful emotions.
See, and the thing is that you're not as much as you're picking it up from Hurricane Sandy.
To dream that you're swept up in a hurricane suggests that both your mental and emotional forces are building up inside and making themselves known. You may be literally consumed by your emotions. Alternatively, the dream indicates that you are being pressured and pushed against your will towards something you don't want to do.
Okay, so that's, if there's anything else in the dream that you want to, but what you're doing is you want to return back to safety. In your waking life, there's a lot of things that are going on. and you're a high being. I can feel you feeling it. I can feel how, again, wearing that amulet, a necklace, a Q-link. A Q-link is what the name of the one necklace is. It helps you not to take on people's energies, especially with Hurricane Sandy. Because you can carry on a great conversation, but sometimes you bring people in that don't seem to be helpful, nice, or understanding of who you are.
And this person said also what's weird, I feel like I won after the storm ended. So I was asking, as in a victory?
Interesting, when the storm ended. So with all of the destruction and everything, yeah, you made it through.
Yes, afterwards I had songs in my dream of hymns being church music.
I love that. Okay, so that another part is that you're there,
Songs of the
you
dream.
have made it through. Now when you have a kind of a dream, when it sets it up in that motion, what happens is that you wherever it's been, gone through a turbulence thing about emotional upheaval, changes, you know that you would like to be in a stable, committed relationships, and again, you're picking up all the frequencies. You won because you survived it. You were able to survive it. You survived a particular thing. So whatever this is representing into your life. So has there been something in your world that has been very disturbing? Because you have to take the definitions of what she read from the hurricane, and what was the other one I had to read?
Wedding.
And the wedding. And have you started a new beginning? Does it feel like it's emotionally upheaving? Do you feel like, that you can do it? Well, according to your dream, you can. You'll win. You'll totally win.
This is ironic, this is karmic, like when my birth mom found me a storm that year in October.
Oh, wow. Okay, so again, usually your foundation will be what's in your dreams. Your foundation is what needs to be healed or addressed. And if you look at what the person said, is that the birth mom found him, I can't see it. This person, and you were won. You were safe. You're protected. And that is the same thing. So you can be going through a seasonal thing. Your body knows the seasons regardless if there's a calendar, because you've marked it in your soul, and you just said that that's what happened when you were younger. So whatever's going on, you have now gotten through it, not once but twice. Once in real life, once in a dream, and now whatever the next phase that you're going to go into your life, in your waking life, let's say you start a new job or a new, I think it's a he. Isn't this the one that was going to be learning a new language? I think you're going to achieve it and win. It may not make sense when you first start out, but I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. This
That's
person
good.
was also talking about an NDE, which I assume is a near-death experience.
Yeah, usually it is.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Yep.
Good.
Is it he? Okay.
But I feel that there's a lot of great gift that you're supposed to be giving. When, where, why, how, I don't know. But it'll definitely unfold. How about if we give him a reading?
Okay.
So if you don't mind, you can give, we would like to give you a reading. And yeah, you are on a search and a goal to where you come from. You already know soulful-wise you come from the mother that found you. The birth mother, okay?
Do we want to do a reading now or take a break?
Oh, take a quick break.
And then we'll come back and do a reading. I'm doing a reading for people from the chat room tonight. So we've got, and so this person says that I've known her for I guess birth mom now finally learned where people are from, Moorish region of Europe. Don't hold any hope really of knowing them, as a lot of them are nobility. So background, dad's correct surname is George. And mom has on her mother's side, it looks like French descent.
Okay, so the question I'm asking is, so why does this dream occur? What is going on? And it's a balancing act. So there is something that needs to be learned, growth, or healed, or resolved. And again, it is learning and understanding the intention of where you're aiming. You can manifest much, especially when you're aiming on wanting to get an answer. And balancing your life with the questions of discovering, not just about yourself, but discovering a specific thing that become obsessive, can take away from your solitude. As we look at this, you know, it feels like it's all over the place because that's the energy I'm feeling. But I will do my best to take in what's going on. The balancing act, so that's in reversed. This is a time when it's important to address the area of your life where there is discord. It says, are you fixated on getting your own way? Are you obsessed with one thing? And that's what I was saying. Was there a question about obsession with finding your relatives, finding what you're seeking for, finding the answers of why something occurred? When you get so obsessed, you will create stories, extra stories that don't need to be with it. It is, you're running more into the emotions, or running more with the emotions, and over-identifying with everything, that everything will go more into not having the balanced meaning, but what you make sense of it. So, are you obsessed with one thing, neglecting essential matters that require attention? Taking your own inventory is a necessary step to rebalancing your life. It's the only way to reach an equitable solution. Adjust yourself to the conditions in the environment that you have no control over, and balance will come much easier. If there is to be fairness, it must come from you. So don't go too far over the edge on asking certain questions, because if you go too fast, too far, you can actually get the wrong answers. So learn to balance that. Look at the intention again and make sure that you got a clear intention, and don't put all the obsessiveness or focus on that. Just know that the universe is going to unfold and give you what you're looking for. The last card that I picked up on was called the Solitude card, and it was reversed. Too much solitude results in isolation and separation. Now is the moment to get together with friends and join the merriment. When you are doing this, you're discovering and finding new people. You kind of need other people to anchor you during this adventure of whatever it is that you're seeking out, so that you don't have to spin out of control and get the wrong answers. Let people help you anchor you while you're on your journey of discovering who you are. Jen?
So this passion in your life is going to help you uncreate the solitude that you've been in, because my sense is that the solitude, it goes against your instinct. So they're saying that this newfound passion is to break out of the solitude that you've been in, because then you get back into your true essence, your instinct nature, when you're outside of the solitude.
What's interesting is the energies,
and that's where and then you'll get your strength from that.
that's very good. Anything else?
No.
Alright, I hope that makes sense to you. So we'll go on to our next person.
Oh, okay. So we've got a direct question, and this person says, there's a situation or person in my life that is sucking the life out of me. Is this happening for a reason, to teach me something? Thanks.
So Jen's supposed to answer the first part.
Okay. Let's see, and so just asking if this person is present so that we can have them participate, to see that.
Okay, Jen.
I'm out of sync with what's going on with this
Well,
person.
let's
Okay,
see
so
what
that
I
person
did
is
draw
here.
one.
Alright, so let's just stop for a second. We have the election that's coming up, and what's happening is that all the emotions are running high. I'm going to do the wrong thing. Oh, I don't want people to know really who I'm voting voting for. Oh, I don't want to vote for either candidate. There's all of these energies that are running around right now, and then you have the backlash. You know how you have an earthquake and then you have the trembles afterwards? This is
aftershocks, yes.
correct. And that's what we're getting with Sandy.
We're before shocks of the election.
Both. Before from the election and after from Sandy.
Yeah, because Sandy, even though we're here in Michigan, we are affected to a certain degree because the prices of our gasoline about a day before the hurricane come in, it jumped like 30 or 40 cents a gallon. And they're blaming it on, well, hurricane coming, we gotta raise the price of gas.
But it's all about this energy, and this energy is throwing us three out of sync. I can't say anything right because something says that he thinks I've done something, or whatever. I don't know what's going on with her, but we're completely out of sync. I knew something was wrong the moment I woke up this morning when my clock said noon, and everything around me was, oh, no, it says 12:30. This is what's going on. The routine of how I do things was out of order. Instead of jumping in and taking a shower, I came out and worked on Facebook. In the shower, I normally wash my hair first. Well, that ended up being in the middle of it. And I'm thinking, why is everything seems to be out of sync? So I'm going with the flow. I don't have to go, oh my God, freak out, be pissed off, what the frack. So it's like, this is observing. Then there happens to be more energy that was just unfolding more and more and more. Now, as I'm watching as the night event happens, everybody is, we're tense. We can't say something correct. We're going to bite the other person's head off. And so I really feel it is the aftershocks, pre-shocks, or whatever you want to call it, because it's affecting our dreaming. And we're suppressing ourselves. We're trying to be on our best behavior. We're doing what we can, and it's not just us. The energy on this planet has shifted greatly, and
it's completely different from where I was, the space that I was this afternoon.
And I don't know exactly what's going on, and we don't have to speculate and be personal and going, oh my God, let me find your fault button. This is exactly what the planet wants you to do, is find your fault, point fingers, blame, defend yourself, get all riled up. That's the energy. I know none of us did anything, but we're trying to find out what this energy is, and it's really causing all of us to not be in sync. So now that's done, I will answer your question as well as Jen will. So Jen, you drew cards?
Okay, so I'm using the deck Wisdom of the Hidden Realms from Colette Baron Reed. The first card, I just pulled cards just on this situation, so it's a situational kind of overview. The Eagle King reversed challenges you to see a higher purpose to events. Not everything is meant to come to pass according to your specifications. If you can't see the forest for the trees, stand back for a while and let the Eagle King fly high on your behalf. Perhaps it's time to speak to someone who has objectivity and an ability to see the bigger picture where you don't. Just remember that even when things don't go the way you expect, there's a reason for the detour. And then I got the Sacred Union reversed. As a challenger warns you to be careful of your associations at this time. You may be entering into a situation that will cause more aggravation and drama than you can handle. Be mindful as well of addictive tendencies in making partnership commitments. Are you choosing from an obsessive need to distract yourself from moving forward in life? Are you ignoring your red flags in order to change the course of events that suit you? Could it be possible that you're the recipient of mixed messages? And then I got the Resting Tree, which says, it's a sign for you to stop focusing and planning and be at peace in the moment. This is the representative of non-action and relaxation. Patience is the key to being with this ally. The Resting Tree asks you to slow down, sit back, and watch the roses bloom and the birds feed in the meadow. This isn't the time to forge ahead in any way.
So one of the things says, the question is, there is a situation / person in my life that is sucking the life out of me. And I asked the soul, this is her question, why is this happening? And it goes to bashfulness. Her bashfulness about not moving forward in a particular area of her life. This bashfulness started when around 4 years old. Your soul did not know, you personally did not know how to process the moment when you had extreme bashfulness. That's why it's showing up now. And the bashfulness, when you're bashful, you end up usually drawing people that you can be with, hide behind with. But at the same time, you're not doing that as much anymore because you are supposed to step up and be the leader in your space, which when you begin to change and other people don't like it, then all of a sudden they can start draining the life force out of you. Okay? You know, is there happening for a reason? Yes, this is what I'm explaining, is that there is a foundation that you are now asked to address. You're asked to, your soul's saying, can you process what happened now? And we're saying, yes, from what I can see, yes, because you're ready to move forward. To teach me something. It's not in the way to teach you a lesson, not live and learn and all of a sudden just have to give up and be abused. No. To teach you something is that you can be done with that particular thing. The particular thing, again, goes back to how bashful. Jen, please look up the word bashful real quick so that we can kind of give an idea. When you begin to define your space, you need to see, does this relate to me? What does bashful mean? Go and ask people what that means. Then go in the dictionary, look at the thesaurus, find out. Usually bashful has this shyness, this dislikeness, but it's also when you become self-conscious and know people are staring at you.
Shy, self-conscious, and awkward in the presence of others.
Okay, in the presence of others. Again, it is very important to understand this. Now, you're not supposed to be doing that anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. But I feel like this person can't stop doing this behavior because that's almost kind of what you expect them to do. So you're kind of sabotaging yourself. Now, the card I drew,
it was called Deep Freeze. It was reversed. It says, nothing you can do right now will amount to anything substantial no matter how much you try, push, manipulate, or cajole. Life wants you to take a break. You need to do this now lest you become exhausted and be forced to rest. What you need will be there for you when you emerge into springtime. For now, winter has its own ideas. Wait for signs of spring.
Okay, so as you're waiting, the S is where the enfoldment, the waiting broom. You do not have to put up with certain things. You have to decide what it is. If there's a familiarity of, oh my gosh, I don't want to do something, do understand that you, from what I can tell, is you put this safeguard in so that you wouldn't have to address this issue again. Well, now it has come up. What I would tell you to do is I would tell you to heal the familiarity of bashfulness. Another particular point that's come up from what they're telling me is feel the frequency. Do they feel like they're stronger than you? This is where you begin to create healthy boundaries and check and see, can I say no or can I say no? Because you're asked to redefine that moment when you were 4. Now, we're not asking you to think about that exact moment at 4. Do you have familiarity about what we're talking about? That's all you need, because that's what I'm reading it for, was, oh my God, you know, I don't want to talk to somebody. If you were to say, well, I don't remember 4, a lot of times people don't think about it, but where were you living when you were 4? Did you go to school or preschool? You ask these specific questions that can have you propelled. Do you remember your grandma? Do you remember any siblings? Do you remember? And what will happen is certain things will pop up, especially when you're saying to your subconscious mind, where all the memories are held, it's safe. It is safe for me to bring this up. And what they're saying is that what's bringing up is a particular pattern that you chose to imply or implement the moment that you encountered that bashfulness, that shyness. And I'm looking specifically if there's anything else. And I asked if there was a presence of a person that scared you. No, I think you could read energies. And I think what happened is that you started to develop who you are, but then with the child mind of 4 years old, it felt creepy. So you probably then saw it as, oh my gosh, they're staring at me into my soul. You know, you could feel that you don't like adults looking at you or talking to you, because it's almost the same as if they were touching you. So it almost feels like an invasion. And you dislike it. They're showing that I was a mean little kid, and I didn't like putting up with people's crap. Well, that's kind of what I'm bringing up today. You know what? I don't know why. So certain things are going to come to the surface, especially more now.
It's interesting. She said this person said that they never wanted to say no, and they also grew up in a haunted house.
Okay, so when you can't say no, then that means you're probably going to draw people in that are going to have a very strong presence, and they won't take no for an answer, which then causes you to do a quick double take, because you're about ready to say what you want to say, but then energy's like going, I don't think so, and you're like, ah! Now, as far as the haunted house, now I'm going to check, is this haunted house, this energy of this haunted house affecting who she is right now? No. But it did affect the people around her. She did see this. Okay, so now if I look at it, that was part of your awakening. You saw them have issues, it's kind of like what I was looking at, and you're like, ew. You did not know how to explain it as a kid. You just know you disliked all the energies that were around the people. I hope that makes sense.
This person's saying so far everything's really online making sense.
Okay, we'll have to take a small break, and if you have any more questions, my dear, then you go ahead and write in the chat room or wherever it is you're writing, and we will address that when we come back. Thank you. Okay. Has been, this energy are bringing up everybody's insecurities. So all of the stuff that I'm seeing around me is tapping into, I don't want to say their worst fear, but it's bringing that up. So I was watching this show one time, me and my husband, it's called Tripping the Rift. I'm sure some of you are laughing your head off. Brenda would watch Tripping the Rift. And some of you don't know what it is. Don't worry, don't watch it. Oh, but it's funny too. But Chow, was his name Chow? Oh, anyways, Chode, whatever he is. But the point is he went on this ghost ship, and the ghost ship was about people's illusions and fear, and they would play off it. And so when they went in, the energies were tapping in their fears. And he's walking around and he says, snap out of it! He says, it's your worst fear. You know, and basically he kept walking around just popping those fears because there's no need to do that. Once you face it, it disappears. That is the one thing that we're asked to challenge, is to face it. And being human, some people think they're going to get swallowed up by their fears and they'll never get spit back out again. Well, that's why the healing tools are very important, because the healing tools disrupt those signals that causes your brain, the animation part of your brain, to go very active. And if you're disrupting them by using meridian tapping, hope therapy, anything, EFT, any of that stuff, you won't have to be controlled or forced to obey. The energies on this planet, if you talk to conspiracy theorists, there is another governing that happens to be governing our president, happens to be governing the planet, happens to be, and there's all these energies. The yang energy has been so extremely strong. We're not talking body parts, we're talking about the frequency of yang, which happens to be a male energy. But it's the description of that. It is meant to, be forceful. It's meant to bring things out, and then the feminine is supposed to bring it in, and then it's supposed to be the male is supposed to take it out, and it's a cycle that's supposed to be worked together. Well, when you take and tip the scales into one favor or the other, one's going to have more power than the other. That's the other thing that's been happening on this planet. And now the struggle for this extreme monotheism energy of yang just to be in charge has been challenged to the core. There are people waking up all over that don't want that anymore. Some people say, well, I don't want to vote. Well, guess what? Not voting actually keeps it into play. So what should you do? Vote for nobody. Vote for somebody else. Is there a third party? Should we, can we write names on the ballot? What can we do? I don't know. I'm not into the politics, but I will tell you, energy-wise, you can choose not to participate. Good God, I do not want to participate in this, because I don't want my husband's worst fears to come true. I don't want my friend's Jen's worst nightmares to come true. So it's like, I don't want to do it, so I will explode, because I do not want to take that energy in, so I'd rather just explode it right then and there. Could it damage the relationships? I don't know. I doubt it. Temporarily it could, but it doesn't have to. So the energy is really pushing, push comes to shove. shit or get off the pot. Stay stuck in your fear or pop the hell out of it and decide, you know what? I don't need this and I'm going to tap myself out of it. So literally you can make a choice and move forward. So when you really think about it, let me ask you a question. Was everything good at work?
Yes, it was good at work today.
Okay. So our this afternoon
Was awesome.
okay. See, the moment I woke up I knew something was changing, but I could not place it. And I just knew that I was weaving in and out, doing my best to figure out what was going on. Couldn't see anything on Facebook, but I can tell you that it has excelled, and I went and took a nap. And when I got up, I could feel something very heavy and something else happening. It's like, seriously. So we're getting closer to Election Day. Now, just tap if you feel frustrated going to work. Remember, you're probably picking up people's stuff. You don't need to do that. It's called the zip up, too, as far as protecting yourself.
And governing
yes.
meridians.
The central meridian, and it all starts down by the taint, or where you've been put together down there, and it goes up to the bottom of your chin. This is your central meridian. The central meridian is based on vulnerability. If that is down, you will feel more vulnerable. You will feel more attacked. You will feel, oh my God, I can't do anything right. All of this stuff. Okay? The first thing you can do is that you could hold the 2 points. You don't have to literally touch. You could just hold off the distance. Or the attention that you're zipping it up. Now, what's very important is the governing meridian that's from behind, starting at the bottom, coming up over the head and coming at the top of the lip. This is about paranoia. If there's holes in that, you will feel people you're going to attack me if you're up to something. Why don't you like me? All your insecurities will just whoosh. And then when you have the two together, your central and governing meridian, when they come together, they are a form of protection. And when those break down, it breaks down the Wi-Chi. That is your etheric, what do you want to call it, immune system. Your immune system in your body, you know if that breaks down, you won't be able to recover. You get sick often. But the Wi-Chi, the W-E-I-Q-I, 2 words, what happens is that it is very much your shield, your immune shield to these this world around you and peoples, because it is well known that if you are with yourself, your thoughts create who you are, or the environment, and your body structure can create it. Your body can hold habits that tells your brain what to do, or you can be sitting next to somebody and years and years and years ago they said, oh, your thoughts don't matter. Yes, they do, because you affect the world. The world doesn't just affect you, it affects the world, and you are part of that group consciousness. So, you can just take your hands and just wipe right up side the body, the back of the body, the front of the body, bring it over, and you can lock it. You can imagine like a zipper. You know how the teeth on the zippers come together? You can imagine that. Zip, lock it. Build up that imagination, because if you can't conceive it, then it can't be done. That's why you say, okay, we physically force this to happen. That's great. I can't get my hand back there, Brenda. Fine. Use part of your imagination. Feel like you picked it up and the energy met, and then you can work together. But your egg needs to be protected. I would do muscle testing in class, and I would have people in the room just to say, okay, throw negative energy. And that person could not hold up their arm for nothing, because one of them was down, depending on which one I was demonstrating. The one great thing was how Donnie Eden says, oh, just have to take and just look somebody down. Start at the top, look them down, muscle test them. They'll go weak. And she says, you really need to practice to get that up. Keep it up there. Because when you do, you stop taking in everybody's crap. It's so important for you to understand this. You can go and look just central governing vessel. Central meridian, governing meridian. They're 2 separate things. You won't find a lot of information on it, but the digging that I found is there's a whole bunch of emotional stuff. It's the guilt and the shame. The guilt can be made up of false self-assuredness, false pride, haughtiness, arrogance, contempt, loftiness, mortification, and disdainfulness. Shame, and it can be either way, but the point is those 2 meridians, and can be made up of humility, or humiliated, embarrassed, wounded pride, self-conscious, which is you feel, oh my God, people are looking at me, or self-conscience, which is about right and wrong, awkwardness, bashfulness, dishonored, bullied, disgraced, directed, and literally you will be affected. The guilt and shame, you can find them sitting there. Build it up, because right now your immune systems should be protecting you from this world, but because we have gone so far on this journey and now we're going back to the light, we kind of had ruts in our aura that kind of leave a mark that says, oh, we're supposed to be vulnerable to this, and we're supposed to be that, or oh my God. All that your soul's trying to tell you is to bring up. I wish Karen was here, because maybe Karen could tell us what was going on planet-wise and see if there's anything there.
Kimberly said that this morning there was an earthquake in New Jersey.
That can do it too.
Really? Wow.
That can do it too. So let me check. So did the earthquake?
Hurricane isn't enough?
No, because, well, we did a reading before on this, and so let's look now. Why was there an earthquake in New Jersey? And you have to remember the emotions on that side of the world.
Ringwood, New Jersey, 2.0.
That's not bad, but
Wow.
In my California understanding, that's
a tickle.
yes.
But it's catastrophic
The
out
ju-
here
the-
for us.
The joke with my family is that it had to be above a 5.5 to wake me up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, it's not worth getting up. Really?
Exactly,
That's
in
it?
the middle of the night.
It's raining, or just
5
like
or less
we
is
look at
nothing.
tornadoes. Yeah, okay, whatever. Whereas some people just have other. I like living here. Now, I drew a card for what is called. Why did this happen? To the earthquake occur? It says, one ring circus. You're capable and competent. Independence is the key now as you step into your journey today. I'm just going to take that first line. How many people copy each other in New Jersey? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
How many people copy each other in New Jersey? In other words...
Is there a lot of clicks, or is there a lot of behaviors?
I understand it a bit, because like growing up you had neighbors that would always, like, you get
Keeping
your
up
house
with
painted
joints?
white and put green shutters on. Neighbors put, green shutters on their house. They kind of
And
emulate.
now it's called the catalog of life, because you're like, oh, I never thought of it before. But back then it was, how
Keeping
dare
up
you?
with the Joneses or
Yes.
copycat.
Yeah, and you call that as offensive, and you were mad, or it showed you, see, I'm better than them. And the thing is, the key of independence is that it's supposed to be breaking away from the clique. Others may not have the vision or resources that you need. Recognize that all the wisdom you've acquired along the way makes you particularly competent, capable of moving forward with assurance. Self-reliance is important. Now, what's interesting is that they just brought up the show Jersey-licious?
Jersey Shore.
I have no idea.
Jersey-licious? Jersey Shore is from MTV. And
Okay, so she wants to mock me. I'm telling you, I have no clue what this is. All I can tell you is that Jersey's something where people copy each other and fight and feud and do things,
Jersey
right?
Shore.
And okay, so it is definitely trying to push the buttons on other people.
Yeah, it's all about fight and drama.
So is this even a real thing? Meaning, is it an actual show where they're following around the camera, or
It's
did
a
they
reality show.
It's a reality show
But it
on
was
MTV.
handwritten? But it was
No.
written. Well, I thought I remember hearing that the characters that play them
Yeah,
haven't
the
really
producer,
weren't really related. They didn't boyfriend and girlfriend in real life, but they had to be on the show.
Yeah,
So to me, that's still script.
to some degree.
But people like it because it's what's familiar.
Right.
The
And then
biting-
Script that's
they
ad-libbed or whatever.
can
they
also
call it.
compare themselves to it and say, oh, my life isn't that bad.
And how many people want to be like them?
Or a lot of people were emulating
Wasn't
them.
there another one about hairstyles?
I-
The way the girls' hairstyles were, everybody
I've
wanted to
never-
copy
I've
this.
heard of the show, I've never
Snookies.
watched it.
Snookies?
was one of the characters, and people liked her poofy hair.
Okay, so it's about, and so the independence. So you can see how she's very independent.
Oh, Jersey Licious is about a hair salon. See,
Okay, so you do.
Awesome.
You were remembering something you saw.
I just
I never
knew
heard of
Jersey.
it.
I just knew Jersey.
No, I
Shore.
just heard Jersey Licious in my head.
Okay.
All I know
Well,
is I was
that was-
hungry and I
you're
wanted
thinking
ice
the
cream,
hair
and I
thing
thought, no,
ties
that
into
doesn't
The
that.
sound
Snooki
about right.
bump.
Snooki bump. Oh, I
Is-
heard that, I
That's
think.
the hairstyle.
Okay, so the bump. Okay, but see how independent
No,
she is, but
that's
she's
the
also a
Oh,
trendsetter.
there's also the Real Wives of Housewives of New Jersey. So they have the Real Housewives of such and such, the Real Housewives of
So,
such and such.
what is the plot of these stories.
They're catfights and just fighting and high drama.
A one-ring circus. These circuses.
Oh God, they are totally a one-ring circus.
Okay, because I remember you saying that one of your
circus.
guilty pleasures was watching something like that.
Yes.
That's why I was.
Thank you.
That's why I was turning to you, because I knew you had done something with it, whether you associated the name somewhere. That's what I was looking for.
I can't believe Jersey Delicious is the name of the show.
That's kind of cool. But anyway, hair represents attitude, and one of the things that's happening is the attitude, the thoughts, the behaviors. Though that old part of town needs to catch up with the rest of the consciousness that is starting to happen. You look at California versus New York. Californians are, hey, they're so airy-fairy, because they're what? They're studying consciousness, they're studying metaphysics, they're doing all this stuff, right?
Yes.
Do you find this in New York a lot? New York has an attitude.
The New York attitude. People would accuse. It's funny because I'm from California, but people would accuse me from being from New York because of my attitude.
But
I didn't think you were rude.
Back in my life, another chapter of my life.
But you're talking about the stages of awakening. Not one is better than the rest, but there is a stage of how you awaken, and that's what's happening on the planet. The planet is saying, I'm going to shake the fuck out of you because I want you to wake up. It's like what I told him when the universe told him to pass switch, that basically lifted him up, grabbed his ankles, shook him hard, hoping the
And my head
change.
on the floor too.
Yes, and hoping change will fall out of his pocket because he doesn't understand that he needs to change. It literally slapped him around a bit. And he's like, die, 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 die. And I said, well, that's what happens. That's what's called. And I can't. I think Karen called it earlier. It was the bitch slap was equals
a rude awakening.
A rude awakening
Equals a bitch slap.
Yes, and I totally agree, because it will knock you on your, will knock you off your feet, on your ass, then flip you over, spank you hard. Whatever it wants to do, it's trying to get you to say, stop that already. I mean, she's trying to get you to wake up and clean up the planet, and they're not talking about recycling. It talks about getting your shit out of the way. This is all about the emotional stuff that seems to be happening.
That's funny. Kimberly's a Jersey girl.
Oh, hello. You still like us, Kimberly?
God, I
Oh,
hope
boy.
so. Our biggest fan.
Uh-oh.
Besides Karen.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
What
I think
is
she's
that?
looking at us.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what
that
that
reminds
symbol
me
is.
of Jordy. You can heal that.
Kimberly says, you can heal that.
That reminds me of Jordy from Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh.
That had
Oh,
the
yeah,
little
the
thing.
little-
Or is that a
This
TIE
little-
fighter? Is it Darth
the little-
Vader's little TIE fighter?
The
symbol?
little emoticon that's
I don't know what
funny.
that means.
Foot and mouth.
I got two. I got both feet in my mouth. But, again,
I'm glad I'm usually quiet.
but not tonight. But it's, again, looking at the different stages, and right now it's being hit because they're asking them to clean up the emotions,
She's
clean
a
it up.
Joyzy girl. Joyzy Will.
What the?
Okay, so another aspect to consider is creating and maintaining clear boundaries between you and another. And you don't have to do it so viciously either. Be discerning about your partnership at this time. When you know who you are, you have healthy sense of where you are and where one ends and the other begins. You'll be able to enter into the best kind of relationship and will attract people who mirror back your wholeness. Interdependence relationships are also mutually supportive, stimulating, and transformative. You can achieve anything at this time. Like one of the things that's happening in New York, I think it's the ritzy, I mean, it is a very ritzy part of the world, right? Over in there?
It's a higher standard of living.
Okay.
A higher cost of living, I should say.
A higher cost of living. And it's not that big of a deal, but what's happening is that you create a devastation, and now people are coming together. I found a few things while on the internet that shows people reaching out. Here's free electricity. I know you don't have any. Mm-hmm. People at Ben Stiller working in a soup kitchen. He's trying to. Everybody's learning to come back, to bring it back. It is, where is your focus? Who's more important than the other? Now, don't take offense to that, but literally it is when you take the energies of how do you apply of working together. And if the resources are going to be closer to home, then you're going to have a lot more help in that area. Do you have close friends? Are you connected? What's happening? And it's all about this interrelationship of people, and how do you communicate? the communication, like I said, was off. I feel it's much better now. It's still a little iffy between me and her. I have no idea about you. I think it feels good between us. Oh, good Lord, check his eyeballs. Did you see that?
No,
That's awesome.
Stop that.
Frightening.
No.
Well, this sounds like it's a good time to take a break.
I would say so. We'll be back after this.